Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, June 27th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Karen Adams. Glad to have you with us tonight. Prince George's police released photographs and video of a man wanted in connection with a fatal triple shooting in District Heights Friday. So far, investigators say it is unclear whether any other people were involved. Officers were called to a home in the 3100 block of Orleans Avenue around 9:30 p.m. 50-year-old Carlina Gray of District Heights, 55-year-old Jan Parks of Landover, and 60-year-old Alan Rolette of Forestville were pronounced dead at the scene. 2 others were also shot and taken to a nearby hospital. They remain in critical condition. Neighbors say although there have been a few violent incidents recently, there has been nothing of this magnitude.
This area does have this crime, It's not the Garden of Eden, we all know that, but it's the hood. But even for this area, it's really too much. My heart goes out to the families. I'm just really blown by it. It's shocking, it really is. Even for this area, that's a bit much.
Investigators say they believe this was not a random act. Meantime, police held a press conference earlier today saying they plan to canvass the area around 7 tonight. They hope to gather information to help them catch the suspect. Captain Brian Riley reiterated that the information so far indicates that this is not a random crime.
Like I said, we're still working on the motive in the case. We believe this was targeted to somebody in that house. We don't know who, though. But there was 5 people at that residence at the time, so we don't know which person may have been targeted, or all 5 were, or one is. We don't know, but we believe it's a targeted crime.
There's now a cash reward of up to $25,000 for clues that lead to an arrest and conviction in this case. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Solvers at 866-411-TIPS.
500 Metro employees will soon lose their jobs. Today, WMATA General Manager Paul Wiedefeld sent a memo out to senior management officials stating that he will eliminate non-safety positions. Wiedefeld says this change would help save money in the fiscal year 2017 budget. Back in March, he fired 20 employees. Well, Maryland's minimum wage is set to increase by 50 cents to $8.75 an hour this Friday under new law set to take effect on July 1st. Also set to go up is the state gas tax by 9/10 of a penny, up to 33.5 cents.
When they tax people, it doesn't make any sense with the tax.
So you're not happy with the gas tax going up?
I'm not happy.
Minimum wage has been low. DC has a little bit higher than PG County right now. I don't understand that. PG County is a little higher to live out, but I think that's great. It's about time.
I drive a van, so that's going to affect my family as well as just how much it's going to cost to fuel this car. But minimum wage, I think, is great. I don't know how much is going up by, but
up to $8.75.
That's it. Oh my goodness. I made $8.75 when I was in high school. So, let's up it to $15.
And if you work in Prince George's or Montgomery counties, the minimum wage increased last year to $9.55 an hour. Employees in the district will also see an increase on Friday. Minimum wage there will rise to $11.50 an hour.
Maryland Congressman Steny Hoyer and Bobby Scott of Virginia hold a forum to address issues they say are important to working families. The event was held at Bowie City Hall. Elected leaders and policy experts talked about raising the minimum wage, pay equity, and family leave.
I have 3 kids, and I remember having my first child. And my husband and I were in a position where we could take, I was working with the federal government at that time, pay and unpaid leave. But many families do not have that option, especially when you look at low wages, blacks and Hispanics. There is a big disparity among those groups. And it's imperative that we take care of our families and take care of the kids.
Other items on the agenda include stronger protections from pay discrimination, LGBT issues, and raising the minimum wage nationwide. The dust has yet to settle following Britain's decision to leave the European Union, and now some of the people who were leading the Leave movement are backpedaling on some of their promises. One of the loudest voices for independence had promised that hundreds of millions of British pounds that were going to the EU would instead be funneled to the nation's health care service. Now those same leaders are saying they were mistaken. Promises that were made to quickly reduce immigration are also being downplayed. In the days since the vote, markets have been in turmoil.
This is going to have severe economic adverse consequences. And we've seen that in the short term. We don't know what will happen in the long term, but clearly it's going to have a disruptive effect in Europe. And again, we are relying on a unified, successful economic unity in Europe as well as in the United States for economic success. So I think it's a real concern. I was disappointed to see the outcome of that vote. I think you're going to see further efforts at centrifugal force driving people apart rather than bringing them together.
Hoyer says even though many of his colleagues disagree with the way the vote turned out, the relationship between the U.S. and Britain remains strong. You're watching CTV News. I'm Karen Adams.
And I'm Patricia Valone.